glad to have you back. We are with Farooq Laghari, the former president of Pakistan. Now, considering you have chucked the PPP out of office on the basis of morality, on the basis of corruption, then how do you reconcile the difference? How do you reconcile with the party which you have kicked out of office?
I can't.
So does this mean
I am totally opposed.
Will you resign from office?
I'm totally opposed to the so-called reconciliation ordinance. Within the party, there's a great deal of difference of opinion on this. Although the ordinance was passed, it has not passed, it's not on the statute books, it has not appeared in the parliament, and if it were to appear, it would be defeated. I think there'd be a very large number of members of the National Assembly.
Would you quit the PML?
No, it'll depend on my assessment at that time, whether I should quit or not.
What's that supposed to mean?
Well, it depends on all the other factors that we are faced with, and especially those that are in the interest of Pakistan.
Considering the Pakistan People's Party's chairperson calls you Brutus, how do you think there will be reconciliation?
I don't call her names. I can call her Lady Macbeth. But I'm not used to either deriding other political leaders or talking against them.
All right, moving on. Let's talk about the end of days with Nawaz Sharif. People say that by the end of your term, which never really ended, you resigned. People say that by the time your resignation came through, you had lost the morality of your office. Critics also say that you could have stopped the storming of the Supreme Court during the Nawaz era.
I did my best. I went out of my way to stop all this.
People say you could have deployed army there.
No, I could not have deployed the army without the consent of the government. The president cannot do that. The president...
Did you try?
When I was president...
Did you speak to the government?
I was the constitutional president of Pakistan. I had no martial law powers. I was technically...
But you're the Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces.
Yeah, the Supreme Commander is just a nominal office.
Did you try talking to the government to protect the Supreme Court? Because evidently,
yes,
Sajjad Ali Shah wrote you a letter saying that he needs protection at the Supreme Court.
Yes, and I sent that letter immediately to the government, saying that you should give him protection. Not only that...
What did the government do? Nothing.
Nothing. They did nothing. They planned and executed the storming of the Supreme Court. Nawaz Sharif and his brother Shahbaz Sharif, they were both involved. There were others involved, and I don't know who all were there. But these two were definitely involved. They got their thugs and ruffians from Gujranwala and Lahore and other places, and they stormed it. And there were several MNAs
but
and
don't you think you could have talked to Jahangir Karamat, maybe gotten him on your side, explained the situation to him?
But Jahangir Karamat was very much there. He was in the know of it. He was also informed about it. And he also passed the buck on to the government.
Mr. Laghari, you're telling me that the President of Pakistan cannot deploy a few troops outside the Supreme Court fearing its storming?
No, the President cannot without the approval of the government. Unless the President dissolves the assembly and throws it out.
All right.
Only then can he do that, not before that.
All right, moving on. Why did you form the National Security Council?
Because I thought the National Security Council was an imperative. We needed it.
People say you formed it as a counterweight to the Nawaz regime.
No. This was done before Nawaz came into power. This was done in the interim period, and nobody knew who would come into power. So it wasn't a question of safeguard against Nawaz Sharif, but it was a question of correcting the situation and the desires of the two former prime ministers successively to overstep their roles. They were out to keep themselves in power through every trick of the trade, going beyond the Constitution, violating the Constitution, undermining it, and that was disastrous for our democracy and for our country.
Well, people say, this is what was written, that when Laghari won the military's endorsement for the Security Council, it was a victory. Now it is a coup. This is during your end days. With no power base of his own, Laghari needs a base to stand on if he is going to assert himself against Nawaz, who comes in with a huge mandate. The Security Council is Laghari's foundation. It gives him a forum to neutralize Nawaz.
Well, they may have, the commentators and people who write in newspapers may have had that perception, but it wasn't done with that purpose.
Well, why do you think that during that interim period, Nawaz's party, the PMLN, actually supported the CDNS?
Well, I don't know. That question should be addressed to Nawaz Sharif. Why did he support it, and later, why did he disagree with it? And it should be addressed to him why he supported the setting up of the Ihtisab Commission, headed by a Supreme Court judge, retired judge, and why he created a bureau out of that under his personal friend.
We have to take a short break here. We're with Farooq Laghari, the former president of Pakistan. You're watching Talkback. Don't go anywhere.